Hi there. Happy Wednesday afternoon, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and I am wondering where did the day go? It's crazy, but at least it's a beautiful day, and getting together like this gives the perfect opportunity to just kind of chill out for a while, do some yoga, play around. Today we're going to make it a little bit more playful as we work with some balance. And just want to remind everyone that it is 31 days of Zen continuing on. And I've even lost track of which day it is today. So as we continue on, with our days of Zen, just be sure that you tune in this Friday morning. There'll be a power practice at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we'll be flowing and getting really nice and warm, feeling strong from that practice. Tomorrow is a video on answering some questions that often come up in yoga and about yoga. So I think you'll find that one quite interesting. And then on Saturday is the Chinese body organ, continuing on with that. So Sunday, interview with one of YouTube's sweethearts, Jen, Move with Jen. So I'll be having a really nice chat with her all about being a YouTube yogi. So hello, it is so nice to see you this afternoon, Barrett Fitness and Nutrition. This lady is a personal trainer and she's got an excellent channel as well. So you'll want to check her out for sure. So as we prepare to get working on our balance today, I just want to mention that balance takes on so many different forms. We think about it as, standing on one leg, one arm, or arm balance is standing on our head. So all those different variations, which you'll get a chance to play around with today. But balance in yoga means so much more than that. Jessica, so nice. I hope that you're going to join us for the practice if you have some time. Jessica also has an awesome channel all about her fitness journey. So do check out these ladies if you have the opportunity. So balance, it takes on many forms, particularly in yoga. One of the questions that I answer tomorrow is all about what is yoga? It's the yoking, the union of body, mind, and spirit. So great. Happy to see you'll join us. So we want to take that all in when we're working on balance. So it really is, balancing you taking the time to come and practice this afternoon, because there's so many other things screaming at you for your time and your attention. So the fact that you can step away from that and step onto your mat for a little while is amazing. And that brings balance into your life. And then we've got nutrition, we've got, every type of self-care and wellness that all encompass the heading of balance. So do keep that in mind. But for now, we're going to come onto our mats. We're going to start standing. We're going to focus a lot on standing, but we're going to move our way through playing around with different types of balances. So let's come up to the top of the mat in mountain pose. And as you bring the arms at your sides and find your tall posture and alignment, I'm just going to move my mat here as I make sure that I've got enough room so you can see all of me as I align myself here. Opening through the soles of the feet and grounding firmly, we find our balance. So stand tall, drawing the ears so that we stack and align over the shoulders, making sure that we're open through the heart center. A beautiful draw of the tailbone inward slightly, just enough to solidify the pelvis. As we relax the arms and you spread the toes apart and close your eyes if you're comfortable doing that, or just gazing down the bridge of your nose as you tap into your breathing. So if you can, lightly sealing the lips, breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your nose. And just observe your breath. So try to keep the struggle about it relaxing complex. Welcome, welcome. Lovely to see you all on this Wednesday afternoon as we practice yoga together. So letting the breath move in and out, and as you observe it and watch your breath, you will feel that you start to move in to becoming present. You start to detach yourself from all of those demands that I mentioned a little while ago, those that you've stepped away from to dedicate time for you. This is a time investment. So when you're doing yoga, you are investing in yourself. You're not spending your time doing yoga. You are investing your time doing yoga. So as you feel your energy grounding, that Shakti energy from the earth, through the legs and just moving up through the rest of the body, right out through the crown of the head. Let's take a big inhale, floating those arms out to the sides with a big, beautiful stretch as you come into a nice, easy back bend here. You can bring the palms together as you lean back, sending the hips forward, and then taking a bow into forward fold. So here we allow the spine to decompress a little bit as we lengthen and allow the weight of the head and the arms, shoulders to create some traction, a little bit of twisting from side to side. And as we soften through the knees, begin to unroll yourself and come on back to standing nice and tall. Take a shoulder roll or two. So if this is a late or afternoon for you today, depending what time zone you're in, you want to enjoy this break. Maybe you've been sitting at your desk for a while, so take the opportunity to loosen into that shoulder, chest, upper back. Let's take the arms up overhead once again. And as you exhale, bringing your right arm alongside the right leg and just reach up and over with your left one, reaching and extending nice and long, sliding the right fingertips down the right leg. And then as you bring it back through to the middle, inhale up, exhale, bring the left hand down, and once again, adjust, slide those fingers down, reaching up and over, looking up. And as you look up, you'll feel yourself really opening up that side body. Let's bring it back to center, floating that left arm down. As you inhale, scoop them both up and come back into your back bend. Exhale, dive it down, forward fold. As you inhale halfway up, let's sink into chair pose here, warming up those legs as we want to awaken them so that they're ready to support us in our balances as we reach the arms nice and strong and long by the ears, reaching through those fingertips, sinking the hips nice and low, bringing more and more weight into your heels, reaching up, opening the heart. Inhale, reach up, exhale, and fold. Inhale, flatten the back. Really pull the shoulders away from your ears. Draw the belly upward. Exhale and sink those hips nice and low. Reach the arms up, lengthen. Sink a little bit lower if you can, really feeling those muscles, big muscles in the legs going to work for you. And release as you fold. As you place your left hand under your face, bend both of your knees and then straighten your right leg as you bring your right hand by the right hip, reaching it up and looking up to that hand. Beautiful twist here, opening up the waist, possibly taking your right arm and hand and just placing it to the outside of your left hip. As you extend it back up again, soften the knees and bring that right hand down. Both knees bend again and then straighten the right leg or the left leg. Extend your left arm up, reaching the crown of your head away from your tailbone as you do so, and then looking up. So if you need to, I have a couple blocks that I've got nearby. If you do have some props, it's always a good idea to have them just in case. Sometimes it just makes life so much easier. Again, you can wrap that arm around to the right hip or the lower back, wherever you're able to reach. You want to pry the chest open as you look up and keeping that left leg reaching up, left hip reaches up. It feels so good to create some space in there. Inhale up, exhale, bring that hand down. And once again, we unroll and make our way up to mountain pose, Tadasana, as we restack all of the joints. Take a big breath in, reach up and back. And this time, keeping the arms right by your ears as you take a bow forward, coming down with a beautiful flat back. So sending the tailbone back, reaching the fingertips forward and fold. Inhale halfway up and step back with the right foot, bringing that right heel down to your mat and squaring up your hips here to open and just starting to feel maybe a little bit more instability as you separate the feet in this way, keeping the body stacked well over top of the hips as you reach those arms nice and long by the ears. Once again, palms face each other, and just imagine you've got sunbursts radiating out of your fingers as you spread them apart, especially on this beautiful sunny day. And then we start to pry the chest open even more as we bring the elbows back. And then reach back up again, inhale. Exhale, float the hands down and step it back to a downward dog. So we're just going to make it a regular downward dog for this one here as we open up the hands and find your grounding through the rim of the palms and grounding through the base of your index and thumb, maybe adding a little walking out back and forth with the hips, pressing the heels as you lift your toes up if you can get the heels down. If not, that's okay. Bend the legs if you need to, especially the first one like this, and then move it through to a plank position. If you prefer it, make it a half plank, especially in the first one. So you might find you just need to get a little bit warmer. Inhale and exhale, lower down. Scoop your heart up. Come on up into a cobra. As you slide the shoulders well away from the ears, keep shining your heart forward and upward. Press into the hands, the knees, tuck the toes under and take it back to your downward facing dog. As you reset here, give your head a nice easy turn, side to side, shaking out any tension there. Lifting on the balls of both your feet, floating or walking your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale halfway up, exhale and fold. Reverse swan dive. Once again, leaning back as you bring the palms together. Exhale, reach forward. Keep those arms right by your ears. Take a moment to stop halfway down. Finding your strength here, reaching through the fingers. Inhale, exhale, bring the hands down. Inhale, halfway up, and exhale. Step back with your left foot. So take your time, really ground down. You'll feel a beautiful opening in that calf, the Achilles tendon. Find your way up. You can just float the arms up or walk them up the leg, whatever feels best here. And feel the scapula, the big triangular bones on your back, sliding down toward your sacrum. And keep bringing that left hip forward. So you really have a sense of bringing the right one back, the left one pushes forward, and you feel yourself opening up more and more. Feels so good. Take a big breath in as you open the chest again. Pry it open with those cactus arms. Bringing the elbows back. Back of the hands move back. Heart continues to lift. Gaze continues to lift. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, hands come down. Step it back to your downward facing dog. So once again, we move through our little vinyasa here as we come into our plank or half plank. Lower down, maybe just above the mat as you scoop through to your upward facing dog. Breathe in here. Now let's bring some balance to it as we bring the knees right down and push back to a child's pose. Let your eyes close, your forearms close to the mat as you allow your body to close over the legs as well. So we've started that process of warming up the body and getting the fluids moving, the heart pumping and the breath really flowing. So now we would just want to take a little pause, allow the body to integrate all of that, what's going on, as you focus on balancing it. So it's not about the power entirely today. We've got that happening on Friday. Today we want to balance our practice. So as we move into table, we come onto all fours. From here, you align the shoulders over wrists, knees over or under the hips. And as you feel yourself activating through your core, make sure that you're stable enough so your knees are far enough apart that you're not feeling like you're kind of biasing to one side once you lift one of your limbs. As you take your right arm and reach alongside the ear, take your left leg and reach it back. So from here, we extend and reach. Yeah, it is a nice slow flow so far. We're going to save that powerful, fast-moving stuff for Friday morning, but we're still going to challenge some strength today. Now, as we turn the thumb down, we're going to bend that left leg and reach it back. See if you can take a hold of the leg. And from here, you're pressing your foot into the hand. And again, you do want to keep your hips fairly squared. So you're pointing both of your hip bones toward your mat. And as you release the arm, bring that knee toward the elbow. Get a squeeze toward that left elbow. And then step the foot all the way to the top of the mat. So bringing both hands to frame that front foot. We inhale and reach up to get long. Open up through the chest. As you exhale, the right hand down, circle the left arm back and reach for the right foot. So we really get into those hips as we open them up. We need those to get us through our practice. We need to open them up to feel more freedom and space in those hips. So looking good. I'm glad that you'll be checking out that Friday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As you let it go, take this back to a downward dog as you lift the hips up. Press the heart through. Inhale to come into your high plank. So you want to feel an articulation through your spine. Let's try again. Take the hips back. Pull the belly in. Hips going way back towards your heels. And then think about moving up on the balls of your feet and then moving through one vertebra at a time as you unroll yourself to come into your high plank. Breathe in, breathe out to chaturanga. Inhale, take it upward dog. Exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. Let your breath really fuel your muscles, your energy, and then bring both knees to your mat. As you bring the hands back to stack and align, we move on to the other side now. Awesome. Great. Reach through those left fingertips. I appreciate the encouragement, Jessica. Reach your right leg away from that left hand. Level yourself out. Again, your belly button is pulled towards your spine. And as you turn that thumb down, bend your right leg and start to look for that foot. Hey, yo, nice to see you. That's okay. Better late than never. And you're not that late. So we're just still, getting things warmed up, opening up the hips right now. We're playing with balance today. So welcome. Glad you can make it. Miriam is here too, joining us. So as you press and push the foot away, carefully release the hand. Bring that knee towards your elbow hydrant as you squeeze and tuck it in and step that foot to the top of the mat. Bring both hands to frame that front foot as you sink the hips, open the heart, shining it forward and upward. Left hand under the shoulder. Right hand reaches up, reaches back, reaching for that foot to give it a nice pull and stretch. So notice when you're doing this one, how does it feel on one side compared to the other side? Where do you feel resistance in your body? And send your breath there. Now as you let it go, let's tuck those toes under, float it back
to your downward dog once again. Press the heart through and ripple through that spine once again with control. Inhale here. Exhale. Come on down, chaturanga. Scoop it up and take it back. Downward facing dog. So as we play with our balance, bring your feet close enough so that you can get both of your heels down on the floor. So that may look different for different people, but no closer than that. So you don't want to be in a forward bend. You still want to maintain a downward facing dog. From here, you are going to lift your right leg up, three-legged dog, and then bend the leg and open it up. Try to point your knee to the sky. Let your heel drop towards your bottom. So this is how we open it up here. Now to play around with balance, we take the left hand, we start to walk it toward the left foot. Now, sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't, but see if you can come up maybe on one finger or all of your finger pads, fingertips, and maybe you're able to reach and grab a hold of your foot. Once you hold on to it, can you push away the same way you did in your table? As you release it, draw the knee into the heart and step that foot to the top of the mat to come into a high lunge. So breathe in, open things up here. High lunge, crescent lunge, staying grounded on the ball of that back foot as you spread the arms wide open. Open up as if you're going to give somebody a great big hug, and then turn the thumbs down, bring the hands behind the back. Breathe in, open up a little more. Breathe out, bow over top of that front leg. So as you balance mainly on that front foot, ball of the back foot, reach the hands behind, and see if you can lift up into a warrior three. Balancing here. As you bring that foot back down again to your crescent lunge, inhale. Exhale, hands to the heart. And adding a twist here as you bring your left elbow outside the right knee. Open it up and look up to that top hand. We keep playing around with the balance. Maybe we're able to reach the arm through. Maybe we're able to actually get into a bind here too. As you let that go, inhale, reach it up. Exhale, take it back. Downward facing dog, breathing in through your high plank, exhaling, low plank, scoop through, breathe in, breathe out, bring the knees down. Remember balance. Push back, close the eyes, forearms, rest on your mat. If you need to, you can take the knees apart a little bit and just allow yourself to softly just melt through those legs. Keep breathing through it and balance your breath. If you want to make it a little bit more of a deeper stretch, you can bring your ear to the mat instead. And if you do, take a few breaths with one ear to the mat. And then let's switch it up to the other ear. As we bring ourselves back from that, we work our way back to a downward facing dog with the feet coming flat on your mat once again. So find the stability here. So see how comfortable you are with however the placement of your feet. And as you ground through your hands, scrub the shoulder blades, and let's lift the left leg up to three-legged dog. Let's bend the knee, point it, open it up. Let gravity do its work here. It pulls and opens up that hip. And as you gradually make your way up onto your right fingertips, see if you can walk them towards your right hand or your right foot, maybe one fingertip or two, and maybe from there you're able to reach up and back, finding your left foot, pressing foot into the hand, get that energy flowing through, and then release it. Draw the knee in, step that foot to the top of the mat. So as we make our way up, come on up to your crescent lunge. Grounding, feeling strong, and really starting to feel much more open through those hips as well. And as you stay open, take a big inhale, open up the arms, nice and wide again, as if you're reaching for a great big hug here. And then take the hands behind your back, interlace the fingers, lift the heart forward and upward, and then start to gradually take a bow. So you're bowing your belly toward your thigh. You're still reaching the hands back behind you. Gradually, you bring more weight into that front foot as you pick up the back leg. So keep reaching those fingers back, really stretching, opening the heart as you play with your balance. One side, usually easier than the other. Take that foot back, release to your crescent lunge. Palms come together and take them across. Elbow goes across to the outside of your left knee. So nice hip opener here. So the outer hip, the glute, gets a really good stretch. From here, you can open up the arms. You can hold it here, or you can try wrapping around. See if you can find a little trickier on this side. As you let it go, take those arms up again. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, hands come down, and step it back to your high plank. Breathe in, breathe out, scoop through. And just enjoy that inhale. Let the pelvis sink and melt down. Beautiful back bend. So again, it's about balance between front body flexion, spine flexion, and spine extension. From here, bring the knees down, push it back into child's pose once again. So as we work on balance, not only do we work on our strength, but also on focus. So restoring focus, and particularly if this is truly later in the day for you, depending on your time zone, depending when you're watching this. It's always great to take that time just to reset your attention inward. So as we move out again, making our way into a downward facing dog. From here, we lift the right leg up and back, reaching through those tippy toes, bringing your chest towards your left thigh as you keep your hips really squared and as level as possible. And then draw the knee in, step that foot to the top of your mat. From here, we bring the left heel down, toes pointing to the long edge of the mat. You can keep your right hand outside of your right ankle as you open up into a side angle and press your knee into your right arm. So you really get a sense of stretching that inner leg. From here, we float our way up into Warrior Two. So nice long arms, leveling the shoulders here as we continue to press that front knee open. And then as we straighten the legs, we just turn the toes in a little bit and bring the back heel in a little bit. From here, taking the arms up right alongside the ears, bending your front knee as you sink into that leg. Sinking as low as you can. You can bring the arms out in front. Bring them to the floor if you need to, and see if you can lift your back heel or back toes away from the floor for our Skandasana. So arms stay out in front. If you need to, you can bring them to the mat. Bring yourself back up again. Inhale and exhale. Move to the other side. Press that knee open. So you sink down, bringing arms in front, lifting those toes away from the mat. sinking nice and low. So don't be afraid to use your hands or stay up a little bit higher if you don't quite have the flexibility, or even if you have issues with the knees. So keeping the arms out in front, can we flow right through to the other side, lifting those toes up. So balancing on that front foot, back heel, and switch once again. Holding it here. Let's move through the center. Inhale, reach it up, turn those toes in, heels out. Take a bow halfway down and release. Let yourself decompress here. Give the head a little turn. You can bring the hands behind the back once again and just let them draw toward the floor for a big, beautiful stretch in the backs of those legs. As you inhale and make your way back up again, return those front toes back to warrior two. And as we straighten the leg, let's make our way into triangle, Trikonasana, reaching the top arm up. And from here, as you continue to hold, gazing upward, we're going to bring the front hand along the outside of the back leg and bending that front knee. You can walk that hand even further to come up into a half moon balance. So this is where you could use a block for sure to give you more, an easier reach for the floor, for sure, for sure. You could take the arm and bring it alongside the ear if you like. And you can bring that arm all the way to the mat as you place your left hand to the floor, right hand on the right hip, and revolve half moon twist. Bring right arm down, lifting up into your standing splits as you bring the hand behind the leg, right leg. One hand, maybe even both hands. So see how your balance is doing this afternoon as you play around with the availability that you might have here. As you bring that left foot to the top of the mat, let's flatten the back to inhale. And exhale to fold. Reverse swan dive. Breathe in, reach up and back. Bring the hands to the heart. And take some time to pause in mountain pose, Tadasana. As you do, just observing the way the hips feel at this time, particularly after having moved through the really good inner thigh openers and a lot of focus on the hips. You may notice with the opening of that front knee, the right side is more open than your left side. So let's balance it out as we inhale, reaching up and back. Exhale, take a beautiful swan dive down to fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands down, walk or hop to bring those feet back. Lower to chaturanga, scoop it through. Upward dog, and then take it back. Downward facing dog. In your downward dog, taking your left leg up and back. Hey, Lexi, so nice to see you again. Thank you for coming by today. We are nice and warm now in our practice as we are working on some balancing today. So from here, lifting your left leg up into three-legged dog, we bring the knee in and step that foot to the top of the mat. So from here, bring your back heel down. Let's keep the left hand outside the left leg as we extend the right arm up. So we've got a nice long line from that bottom hand through the top fingers. We're pressing that front knee, the left one. We press it into the left arm as we hold. And let's bring it up. Warrior two. Find your alignment here. Getting those shoulders right over the hips. Gazing past the front hand as we continue to hold and really feeling the work in those legs. So from here, we straighten the front leg and turning again both toes so that they're slightly outward. The heels are slightly in. Take the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, take the bow, come on down halfway, and then bring the hands back to the mat. So from here, we are going to bring ourselves to flat back and bending the front leg as we walk the hands over to that one, coming back in Skandasana, but this time we can play around a little bit more. The hips are more open. So let's see if we can extend the arms, keeping your left arm in front of your left knee, your left leg, reaching nice and wide. Maybe this hand stays on the ground, and then take the other one, wrap it around your lower back, and then we can see if there's a potential for binding and looking up past that top arm, and breathe. And from here, welcome, welcome. We've got a few newcomers here, so welcome. As you release it, let's reach the arms out in front again, moving through the center to bring ourselves to Skandasana on the other side. So again, if you need a block here that you could place underneath your sit bones, you could go ahead and do that just to make it easier and more comfortable, especially if you have some really tight hips or even the knees. There's any issues there. So we do the same thing here. Opportunity in the surfer's lunge. Good, I'm glad you like it, Lexi. As you reach and extend, your toes are lifted up. You're balancing. Maybe you're able to reach around the back and pry your chest open as you look up past that top shoulder. So don't forget, if you need to modify any of this, I'm just guiding you through, giving you some options, but you do what works best for you as we work it through. Releasing it, we can bring the hands back to the mat, walking our way forward again. And as we come back to that nice wide stance, we have the heels drawn in again. We're going to play around with some arm balance. So you can walk your feet in a little bit. This is one of my favorite arm balances. As you bring the hands to the floor, and you can have them on blocks if you wanted, but the idea is to get your hands nice and flat here on your mat. And you want to have enough bend in your arms so that you have kind of like a shelf or a chair, if you will, for the backs of your thighs. And then you can start to walk your toes forward. And from there, maybe you're able to lift one leg, maybe you're able to lift both of them to balance into a firefly as you straighten the arms even. And from here, we bring the legs back to the mat, walking our way back to that forward positioning into warrior two once again. So nice long arms here, body stacked over the hips. And from here, straightening that front leg, let's reach it into Trikonasana, triangle pose. So triangle pose, you can have your hand all the way to the floor. You can rest it on your shin or your thigh. So it really depends on your flexibility. But remember, this top hip is moving by. Thank you, Miriam. I appreciate that encouragement on the firefly. We're going to be taking on a little extra special there in just a few moments. We're going to do a little bit more arm balancing, so stay tuned for that. We'll see how that works out. It's always a mystery. You just never know from one day to the next. From here, you can bend that front leg as you start to bring your hands further and further forward as we move up into our half moon balance. So lining up your hand right underneath the shoulder. Trying to open up that top hip, and we're just kind of flowing from one to the other. So it's not a perfectly smooth transition here. You can bring your left hand, or sorry, the right one now under your shoulder with your left hand on your left hip as we move into revolve, half moon, reaching through that left arm, trying to keep that left leg straight. And as the left hand comes down, we work on our standing splits again. So lifting up that leg. Alicia, you're falling. Well, you just hang in there. A little bit more balance to go yet. So as you hold on to the leg, if you can, with one hand, both hands, or maybe no hands, both hands on the floor. whatever works for you. Let's step that foot in and bring ourselves into forward fold, Uttanasana, and unroll to come all the way to standing nice and tall. All right, so moving on from the top of your mat, I'm just going to make a little bit more room here as we position body into alignment, back to mountain pose, feeling strong, feeling solid. Let's inhale, reach up, and let's balance out the body. So again, it's about balance, not just standing on one leg, one arm, two arms, whatever you have, but also balancing out these sensations through the body, the way that you're stretching, your strengthening happens, which is so important. So take a breath here, let your hips sink, really stretching the tops of the feet, and then bring your knees to the mat. Push it back into your child's pose. So use your child's pose as an opportunity to close your eyes, to breathe, to reset, so that you can just feel more peace and more centered, because that's really what balance is. So as you make your way out of your child's pose, come on into table once again. Let's inhale and lift the gaze, and the belly sinks down, the tailbone lifts up. As we do that, let's tuck the toes under. Breathe in here, slide those shoulders away from your ears. As you exhale, round your back, stretch the tops of your feet. And as you tuck the toes under, inhale, lift up, press the heart open, and switch it around again. Press through the tops of the feet, round your back. One more time through for both. Inhale and exhale. And bring it back to table. Take the hands forward and let's tuck the toes under into our downward facing dog. So as we move into bringing the feet wider, we're going to walk the hands toward the feet and bending your knees to come into a really nice deep prayer squat. And once we're in the squat position, especially at the back of the mat, we've got the front here, we've got lots of room in front that we can play around with some more arm balancing, which gives us some opportunity to develop more strength in the arms, in the upper body, but to really tap into your core, because we tend to think of arm balances as strictly arm strength, but it's really about getting everything firing and working together, which is what all balance is like. So from here, we're going to take the hands and bring them to spread out in front of you, nice and wide. And as we lift the hips up again, you're going to bring the feet in together. And with a bend in the knees, point your knees to the right. And we're going to be playing around with side crow. So from here, you're going to, just like we did with Firefly, you want to have a good bend. So this is kind of the easiest version of doing a side crow, is to really get a good bend in those elbows, just to get yourself the sense of flying, so that you actually come off your feet and you're balancing on your hands. So with that bend, you create a little bit of a shelf and you're able to stack your knees. So I have my knees stacked together just on the back of my right arm, and I have my left hip kind of resting over the elbow on my left arm. And as I do that, I'm able to bring my weight into the arms more and more, so that I can balance here. And I'm kind of playing around as I fall out of balance a little bit. I can bring my toes down and kind of tap. You might find that you need to bring your toes. And so it goes. You keep playing around with it back and forth. Sometimes a little harder to do in slow motion. So let's try it on the other side. So if you want to play around a little longer with it on this side, go ahead. But when you're ready, while I try. Thanks, Jessica, for the cheering on. It really helps. So we're going to try the other side. We're going to take, again, both hands, open them up nice and wide, spread the hands, and from here, you're going to bring, I'm glad you like it, Alicia, you're going to bring your feet together. So you're in a little squat here again. And remember, you want to bend those elbows. I do a lot of this with the children that I teach yoga to, and they really love playing with this, but they don't always listen to instructions very well. They try to do it with their arms straight. I'm telling you, bend your arms. It makes it a lot easier. So bring your right hip this time just up against your right elbow, and then as you tip more and more, bring your weight so that you're centered over those arms, and then you can begin to lift your legs up and balance on your arms and hold it there. So I hope that you're able to try it. If you don't get it the first time, you just keep on practicing, because that's what they call it, right? It's a yoga practice. So you keep practicing. And we're going to do one more. And again, not sure how it's going to go, but I'm going to give it my best shot here. So now we did side crow. We're going to go into regular crow, but from there, we're going to go into headstand from regular crow. Okay? So we all need a lot of practice. Sometimes it's just not pretty when we're doing this. So, you know, it's so long as you show up and you keep trying, that's what counts. And hey, sometimes you surprise yourself. All right, so from here, we're going to try that crow into headstand. Okay, now if you could do both separately and not link them together, but if you want a little adventure, let's give it a try. So you're going to bring the hands nice and open, just like we did for our side crow. And from here, you are going to bring a good bend in those arms to get the shins lined up over the backs of the arms. So as you come into your crow, find your balance. Baby crow, you can keep one big toe on the floor. So that would be your regular crow. And as you balance there, gradually bring your head to the mat. And from there, you can bring your legs up into your headstand. And playing around with the balance on your head today. Bringing it back to your crow and hopefully pressing yourself up to come back up again. So from here, I hope you have a little inspiration. Even if it didn't quite work out that way, like I said, some days it's just easier, better than other days, especially for coming back into your crow from your headstand and coming back to where it all started. So from here, let's start to wind our way down. So we're going to bring ourselves to seated, stretching. Active mom, welcome back. So happy to see you once again. Bow fit. Awesome. I'm so happy you made the live. You just missed our crow to headstand back to crow. So we'll have to give that one a try again, or you can catch it on the replay. Good. I'm glad you got some inspiration there, Jessica. So sitting nice and tall. Let's take a breath in. Inhale. Reach up. Exhale into forward fold. And we're just going to hang out in our forward fold, just like your child's pose that you did earlier. Forward folds are meant to be really soothing and calming to the nervous system. So as you rest here and you allow yourself to just gradually melt over top of those legs, you could bring the forearms, you could bring your fists, you could use a block here too, or even a pillow just to take a few breaths to make this very restful and soothing. Anytime you're forward bending, it's female in nature, which is a nurturing. The females are the nurturers in nature. So you want to give yourself a little time to have that. And from here, we make our way back up again. So if you want to stay a little longer in your forward fold, by all means, go ahead and do that. Take a few shoulder rolls here. And as we bring ourselves to have nice flat grounding through the feet, take an inhale to open up nice and tall. Tucking the chin and scooping the belly in, let's roll down with control to come all the way into a supine position. So from here, we have a few more minutes. I think we could actually squeeze in one more balance, which would be a shoulder stand. So it's an inversion, but in a sense, you are balancing on your shoulders. You're at the very top of the shoulder blades. So having the legs inverted in that way is going to really force core activation so that you are tapping into those same muscles as you use when you are in a headstand, as we just were. So from here, let's align ourselves, open up through the chest. So you want to kind of get yourself organized through your spine and through your core. So as having ponytails can be kind of awkward, so you want to move your hair out of the way so there's not a big bump. Your cervical spine alignment is really important. So let's add a little core strength here, preparing us for Friday morning power. So as we open up through the chest, round through those hands, reach through your tippy toes, take an inhalation, and lift your legs up nice and smoothly to bring them above your hips. If you've had enough, you could just stay right here and enjoy the benefits of your inversion. If you want to add on, you're going to bring those arms a little closer to you, walking the shoulder blades a little bit closer toward each other as you press into the pads of the fingers, shoulder blades, core activates to lift the hips up. Now, once they're up, you can kind of walk your hands down or up, I should say, the back, to bring yourself right up onto those shoulder blades. From here, you're resting right on the shoulder blades. You should not feel anything at all in your neck. Really important. So as you hold and continue to hold that, you might play around with maybe bringing one hand down and maybe switch. Bring the other hand down. Whew, as you balance, keep that core strong. Keep those legs reaching up. And maybe you're able to bring both hands down. And from there, roll it down. Articulating through the spine. Big breath in. And slowly lower those legs to your mat. Awesome. Take a big breath in. Lengthen out. As you exhale, bring the hands back by your hips, walk your feet in, and come on up into a bridge. Lifting up, walk your shoulder blades. Your right, active mom. I'm not sure what your first name is. I'll have to double check again, or you could just type it in for me if you have the opportunity. But you're right, yoga is perfect, especially after a workout, a gym workout, if you have the opportunity to go to the gym. We're still in lockdown here, which made 31 days of Zen just the perfect opportunity to have some content provided to you every day because, well, until next month, or maybe the month after, who knows when our gyms will reopen again. So from here, you can stretch one leg out, cross it over top of the other thigh for a nice hip opener. You can bring the spine down as you leave that leg crossed and reaching through the window to draw your left knee into the body. Pull it in. Maybe even walk the hands a little further down, giving you a little more leverage to get closer, thigh to belly. and then let your foot float back down again. As you keep your ankle crossed, let's open the arms and let the knees roll over to your right side. So that added weight of your right foot, right leg, really provides you with a great stretch. Breathe in. And then bring those legs back up again. Awesome. Uncross, let's get the other side balanced out. So again, this is about balance. Open up the chest, lift those hips up. And with the body nice and level, even feeling like you can maybe get the hips a little higher to get more sense of opening through the hips. And reaching up through your left leg, you can cross the right one and just open up that knee. And let it weigh heavily. Using gravity as your friend here. And then bring your hips back down again. Bring your knee in. As you reach with your hands, either behind the leg or on the shin toward the ankle, wherever you could get a good grip so that you can feel yourself really opening that up. And then bring that foot back down again. Keep the ankle there, open the arms, twist to the side, look away, breathe in. Enjoy that stretch. Let your breath just flow into all those open spaces. That is the road to recovery. In any workout, in any effort, strengthening, just getting blood flow, oxygen, moving through your body, healing energy. And then bring your legs back up again. From there, you can do a little bit of wiper blading of both legs side to side, and eventually stretch them out nice and long, maybe a little wider than your hips, kind of about mat width. You can have the arms wide open as well, or you can bring them closer to the body. So pentacle pose, if you are opening them wide and then closing your eyes to draw a deep breath in. This time side out. Do that a couple more times. And again. And as you continue to rest here with a soft, effortless breath, feeling your body sinking into your mat as you relax and feel the weight and yet weightlessness. This is if you feel muscle just sliding away from bone as you get more and more relaxed. Breath more and more effortless. And you can remain here as long as you like. Perhaps this is the end of the day for you and you're able to just be. Take the opportunity to recharge. And if that's the case, I invite you to go ahead and do that. Otherwise, if you're ready to bring yourself to conclusion of your practice, you can take your time to awaken your body and bring it back to life, gradually stretching and bringing the knees in and massaging out your back a little bit as you do some rocking. The old turning of the head side to side, stretching into the neck. As you eventually roll onto your favorite side, you can press the floor away. You can make your way up to seated once again. And maybe keeping the eyes closed just a little bit longer. As you bring hands to heart center, prayer hands. Taking a moment to feel some gratitude for this time, as I mentioned earlier, that you so wisely invested in yourself today. So thank you so much for practicing with me. Your being here, your comments were so inspiring, exciting, and really a lot of fun for me. So I hope that you had fun as well. I hope you'll keep practicing some of those poses that we went through, those balances, and just have fun with it. Come on back if you can, Monday or Friday morning, Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. And we will move through some power. So we will probably get a little sweat on as we move through that practice. So namaste. And thank you so much, friends. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you soon.